Hi, we are going to talk about creating users and groups. Without users, without groups, why you need to have a Linux? Creating new accounts, modifying accounts, deleting accounts, managing groups here. We know that the groups and user and myself, there are three different categories under Linux. Myself, that's me. Users, that's everyone. Groups here is someone I work with. So that's a different way setting up by Linux since day one. They tell you how to create a new account, how to create a new group, how to remove them. This is for administrators. They all need to know that we are not trying to learn to play the users mode. We are trying to play the administration mode in this chapter. Users group here, project group here. Linux is perfect for project here. And if you change from project A, group A to group B, the all need to be done is ask the admin to remove your user account from project group A to project group B. That's it. This is one simple command. Then you are removed here. Technically, that's very, very simple here. And users account here, know who are you, who am I, user account. Everybody need to have a user account. Only the admin would have a administration account. Select a good password. It's not only to Linux, all the different language, we need to select a good password. They show you some example, what's the good password, what's the bad password, based on how easy or how difficult for a hacker to figuring out your password. They're going to keep trying. Like for instance, if you have a password QWERTY, that's bad. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's even worse here. I have seen someone have a password like that here. And that seems to me you don't really like to have a password. You don't really know what's going on. The password here is to protect you, but if you don't have a password, it's a bad practice. They give you some example. This example is Y #I9WTTD. This is a good password. They give you some rules here. You, as the administrator, how can you set up some rules for the user? We always ask user to create their own password. You have some rules, so the Linux software will accept those passwords which meets the rules here. How can you set up those rules here? Here we have added at least 2 symbols or numbers. This is a simple rule. And mixing case, uppercase, lowercase, special character, reversing order. Then they have something very similar, DTT, column. This is not a good way. There are too many columns here. Password can be guessed by malicious individuals, the hackers. That's the reason you need to have a password. It's much more difficult to be guessed by malicious individuals. Those hackers, they typically going to use a software tools to guess your password. You need to have a kind of a password that's difficult for the software to figure it out. They also set up some kind of a thread, like 3 times you enter in wrong password, they block your account. That's one secure way to do that. And users should never tell other people your password. That's common sense. And users may need to change the password from time to time. One time I asked a admin, why you guys want us to keep changing our password like every month? It's a little bit annoying, some extra works. What's wrong with my password? The answer I got from one administrator was, your password has been in there for 1 month. A hacker had been trying for 1 month. to break your password, it may be time for you to change another one. They spend 1 month. That's the answer I can leave with. Change your password every month, even every week. Depends on the sensitivity of your work. They give you some example. Don't use this password here. My password is password 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. You want 8 character? I have 8 character here. This is real bad here. You'd be surprised how many people they are using this way as their password. They are thinking about to protect the network system. It's not their job. We have admin. We pay you, so you do the job. I don't need to do the job. To secure the system is actually everybody's work, everybody's job here. It's not like you got paid, your title have a security something, so that's your job. Nope. Since day one, that's not it. They give you 10 most common password. That's bad password here. See, what do I say? Whoa, this guy have a dragon here. Yeah, okay, a dragon. Yeah, and let me in. Oh, this is funny, huh? Let me in. Okay, this is like a monkey here. I like monkey. ABC 1 2 3. Yeah, those password I saw it a lot. Like 30 years ago, people really using that password. Maybe I also use a password. I mean, something like that. But today, I dare not use a password like that. Although your admin will not see your password, actually, technically they can. If they see this kind of password, they're going to be thinking about, you don't know what you're doing. I don't want people to think I don't know what I'm doing, especially when I do know what I'm doing. So I'm not going to give them any excuse by picking up a password like that. The admin can create account using a GUI tools here. That how to create an account, how to delete an account, block an account. We'll talk about that later on. Let's focus on this password rules here. How can we set up the password rules here? That's very, very important. Let's see if this video can help us a little bit in learning how to set up rules for the password here.
Another Linux tutorial. So today I'm going to show you how to set password rules in Linux. So, are you ready? Let's get started. So let's say, for example, you want to create a user. So here I will use the command add user with root privileges. So add user, and let's call it, for example, James. So here I'm adding user called James. So as you can see, it's asking me for a password. So here actually I can put whenever password I want. Whenever length, whenever it's uppercase or lowercase or anything I want. So for example, I can just enter 1 2 3, okay, and retype it 1 2 3, and it will accept it. Okay. So the user James has been created using just password, which is a very weak password 1 2 3. So let's say that we want to change the rule. We want to add more functionality, more complexity to this password. So in order to do that, the first thing is to make sure that you have installed what we call a password quality check library. So I will install it with apt-get, because I'm using a Debian distribution here. Apt-get install. Then the lib pan minus quality check, actually password quality. So this,
yeah, you see how easy this can be done. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just install this already built up for you to use it. It's not difficult. If you don't know how to do it, you try to Google. They'll tell you.
This is the library that I should have been installed. Okay. And I hit enter. So it it will see if the library is installed or not, and if not, it will install it. So this is the first step in order to set up rules. Okay, so now the library is installed. Now I must go to a specific actually file and open it so I can add my rules. So I will go to a directory called /etc/pam.d. Okay, so if I do list here, I can see a bunch of files. Okay, but there is a very interesting file that I'm going to change in order to set up my rules, which is called common password, as you can see here. So in order to edit this file, I should have root privileges. So I will just open it using the root privileges with any editor I want. Here I want to use, for example, Nano. And I'm gonna open this file, which is common password. So as you can see here, it's a very simple file. So let's say, for example, that we want to set the minimum length of the password to 12 characters. So I will go to this line here, and just at the end I will add space, and I will write min.
Yeah, I'm stopping here to bring up your attention. This is very useful. The length of the password here, they just changing here. So not much here. This is the command line here. Here are the per package module here, the primary block here. So you the quality, so retry equal to 3 times. How many times can you retry? So it's very simple. You can read it, you understand. It's no magic, it's not difficult as long as you use it. But be careful, Linux is very powerful tool. So if you have a typo, then you're going to have lots of consequence. You don't want to see that.
Min length equal to whatever length I want. For example, here I want to set it to 12. Okay, so I will save my file, Control X, yes, and hit enter. So now let's change the password for the user James. So the command for that is password and the name of my user, which is James. So here it's asking me the new password. So let's give it just, for example, 4 characters, and I hit enter. As you can see now, it's telling me it's a bad password because.
See the beauty of this software tools here. The password is shorter than 12 characters. You don't need to prepare this. This like by default transparent to you. You set up to 12 character. They give you this error message, and this error message is very clear. Anybody can understand what's that.
We have set up the length for 12 characters. Okay, so I will just exit. So I will open once again my file, and this time let's say, for example, that our password must have at least 1 upper character. So I can add to the same line new parameter, or I can delete this one. So let's say that the length is not interesting. So in order your password to have at least 1 uppercase, we have to add option uCredit equal to -1.
Yeah, I stop here again. You see the password here, three chances here, and we change to be certain character just in this line here. It's very organized here. You separate by a space, no fancy. You can put more restriction or rules here. It's very simple.
Okay. So now the password must have at least 1 upper character. So I will save. Yes, and hit enter. And same thing, let's change it. So let's just enter some characters. So as you can see now, it's giving me the message that the password must contain at least one uppercase letter. Okay, so just exit or return to my file. So you can add many options that you want to your line here. So for example, if you want that the password contains at least one.
See the example, we come back to the exact same location. We try 3. You need to have an uppercase character, at least one, and we're going to add more restriction in the same location.
Lowercase character, so you have just to replace the U with L credit, and always integral -1. Okay? If you want your password to have actually at least one digit, so one numerical value, so you can replace the L by D for digit. So this time your password must have at least one numerical value. If you want, I can add many options. For example, I want my password to have at least one digit and at least one special character. So I can add other character with the option O credit equal -1. Okay, so in this case my password must have at least one numerical value, one digit, and plus one special character. So you can play with this option as many times as you want in order to set up rules for your passwords. Okay, and always you have to save the file, and you will see that the changes that you have made to this file actually are reflected to the new password that you must create for your users. As always, I hope it has been informative for you, and I want to thank you for viewing. Bye-bye.
I think this is a very good tutorial to show you how to do it. Luckily, we have a YouTube with so many volunteers to make those very helpful short tutorial to help us learn. And working as an admin, this is also very, very handy. You can try it. That's something good about Linux here. It's not like Windows. They also have some, but Windows have too many versions. You say Windows 10, Windows 9, Windows 11. There are too many versions here. You see something work for this version may not work for that version. Also Windows, they have too many different ways to do one thing. That's good and that's bad. I think that's more works. It's my preferred way is just like one place here, and you can change or set up all the options. Don't make it fancy, just make it easier for people. People get a use of that. They come here, the admin here just set up more rules, change the rules. Yeah. Make it simple, keep it simple. Why make it so fancy? Windows have a need to make it fancy, so you can have a newer Windows version. Company going to pay for that, and Linux here. We make it more fancier, keep changing. Nobody's going to make any money out of Linux. This is our open source. That's a very good idea. We don't have to change to some other way for a reason just to make some more money here. That's really not a preferred way. That's something I would like to share with you. Think about the simplicity of Linux. You like Linux? Use Linux.